Hi folks, it's Chef Kevin. Yesterday I made a short tutorial on how to clean and butcher an octopus. So tonight, in order to use the meat, since it's fresh, I'm going to be making a octopus stew. Now I don't know exactly how to name this stew. It's more like a Mediterranean stew, sort of like an Italian stew, and sort of like a French stew. So why don't I just call it Chef Kevin's octopus stew. Let's take a look at the ingredients. Okay folks, here are the ingredients. There's quite a lot of stuff here. Let me explain to you what's going on. First of all, we have my beautiful octopus that I butchered yesterday. This is almost 4 pounds, but I'm not going to use the whole 4 pounds tonight because I want to make another video later. I have some homemade fish stock here, and I'll reference that at the end of this video, how to make it. If you don't want to make it, you can buy it in most stores. You don't want to use water though as a braising liquid because water has no flavor. The other liquid I'll be using to braise in is French red wine. Red wine is used in the French dish coq au vin, as well as beef bourguignon, so that's the French aspect. I'm going to be using some Hungarian hot paprika. This would be used in a Hungarian goulash. The regular salt and pepper, the two most common spices in the world. I'm going to be using some herb de Provence as well. This is from the southeast section of France. It's a combination of marjoram, thyme, and oregano. It also has hints of lavender. So that's a good seasoning, I believe. I have some capers. So that would be Italian influence. I also have some crushed red pepper. That's another Italian influence. I have some olives, black olives. So this is Mediterranean influenced. Onion, you gotta have onion. Garlic, you gotta have garlic. I have some small red potatoes here, and that's going to make it it's going to make it starchy and thick. A stew is supposed to be on the thick side, and you can use, there's several things you could use, but I'm going to go with the natural starch of the potatoes. I guess that's the Irish aspect. Okay, and then the last one is tomatoes. These are San Marzano tomatoes. They're very sweet, have a beautiful flavor to them. You can only get these in one particular province of Italy. So again, that's the Italian influence. So I have a whole bunch of stuff here. Now I'm going to show you how to make the actual stew. Waiting for my pot to get hot. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and prep the octopus. This is 23 ounces. I just weighed it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut off some of that tentacle there. There's really not that much meat there, and I don't think it's really that attractive. So I'm going to cut this in fairly large pieces. Alright, you get the idea, I think. Okay, while the pot is getting hot, I'm going to go ahead and prep my San Marzano tomatoes. These are peeled. I couldn't get the crushed ones, so these are whole but peeled. So what I have to do now is break them up. You can do that by hand, or if you have some sort of a mashing device, such as this, you can just press them down, and then I'll crush them up. Okay, I'm almost ready to put the onions in. I have my 4-quart Dutch oven. I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You can use any oil, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. It's already nice and hot. There's one whole onion. I left it on the chunky side because if you make them too small, they're going to melt down and they're going to be almost invisible. Okay, I just want to sweat these off. I'm going to make them translucent. I'm not going to brown them. I have 6 cloves of chopped garlic. I'm in the mood for garlic tonight. This is not going to take long, 2-3 minutes. Don't want to burn it. Coming out nice. Going to add a little sea salt. Okay, the onions are nice and translucent. Nothing is burning. I'm going to add my 28 ounces of San Marzano tomatoes. I have a nice consistency. It's not too chunky and it's not too thin. Going to add my 28 ounces of Octopus. Eight ounces of small red potatoes. I have like 1.5 ounces of capers. These were packed in salt. So I rinsed the salt off under the faucet. I didn't want to oversalt this stew. The octopus may be salty enough so I can adjust the saltiness at the end of the cooking cycle. Okay, and put some olives in there. About 20 or so, I'm not going to really count them. Black pepper, little herb de Provence, this is going to be one hearty stew, I can tell you that already. Some red pepper flakes. I hope you're hungry. I am. Hungarian hot paprika. Ooh, the paprika went right into my nose. Okay, got 12 ounces here. 4 ounces. That's 4 ounces of fish stock. Last item. A little Bordeaux wine. Probably about 4 ounces or so. Okay, I'm going to stir this up. Bring it to a simmer. And this should take about an hour. At that point, I'll check for doneness by taking a fork and sticking it into the octopus, see if it's tender or not. Okay, see you in an hour. Gonna cook this covered. Okay, we are looking good here, folks. It's actually been an hour and 15 minutes, and I took out some of the octopus, and I put a knife, sorry, not a knife, but a fork into it, so it's very tender. The potatoes, equally tender. I added a little salt, and the taste is really out of this world. The only thing left to do is add 1/3 of a cup of Italian flat leaf parsley, and this is always done at the end of the cooking cycle, otherwise it comes out just too mushy. So I'm just going to cook this for another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to serve it. That looks absolutely beautiful, folks. It's not thin, it's not too thick. I think the consistency is just perfect. Now, let's deconstruct this and take a closer look. Let's start with the simple olive. Okay, I added this for a Mediterranean flavor. Believe it or not, it's still crunchy. It's not soggy. It hasn't fallen apart. So the texture is spot on. Okay, here we have an onion and a potato. Now the onion is still fairly large, so it's easily identifiable as an onion. It's very soft. It's very sweet. The potato, as you can see, is very soft on the inside. Beautifully cooked. I'm sorry, but it's hard to speak when the mouth falls. Not what you're supposed to do, but... Okay, let's take a look at the actual octopus. This is the star of the dish after all. Zoom you in here. Okay, I stab it with a fork. It's very tender. I'm going to cut this piece in half. And you can see that creamy, dense white flesh, which is just beautiful. So I'm going to put that back in the pot, and now I'm going to present it and then eat it. I'm hungry. Ooh. So here you are, folks. Your octopus stew is served. I hope you enjoy this rather lengthy video. And if you think I'm a half-decent chef, and if you think I know what I'm talking about, then perhaps subscribe and or give me a thumbs up. Make me feel good. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.